welcome back to the show. Well, this is the time where our entire research team joins in to give us CNBC TV 18's top 10 list of stocks. Hi guys, welcome to the show. First up, of course, Just Dial. You just saw the news of the buyback flashing for you on the screen. Varinder will tell us more about that. Varinder.
Well, this is, I think, a very sentiment positive move for the stock. If you remember clearly earlier, people were very worried about the fundraising plans, the acquisition, what the company was planning or not. Now, of course, the buyback news first, where the company has approved, or the board has approved yesterday, buying back shares from the open market at a maximum price of 1,550. Now, this is not, like the case of Bear Crop Science, where we saw a fixed price buyback yesterday at 4,000 rupees. This is an open buyback for the market, and the company will have a period until which they can buy up to 1,550. So whatever price they get, whenever they see appropriate, they'll buy from the market. The good thing is that if you just see the current price of the stock is around 1,100 rupees. So there's a huge upside to the current to the buyback what they are announcing. The current promoter holding is nearly 32.78, which means that they want to increase their holding from the current level. Also, what company has said that they will be buying back up to 25% of the aggregate equity plus free reserves of the company. That is the which should be around 4-5% from current levels, in case they have to go up to. So that is the plan of the company. The second important thing we should not forget is that the company has shelved their plan to go for any fundraising from the current levels. Remember, Just Dial
was a huge sentiment negative when it came.
Very sentiment negative, and now they are saying two positive news, that they will buy back. They have no plans to fundraise, to do any fundraising from current levels. Remember, Just Dial is sitting on a cash of nearly 800 to 850 crores at right now. So they have cash on their books. Now they will be using the cash to buy back the shares from the open market. The stock has already fallen from 1,700 levels, if I remember it correctly, to 1,100. So I expect the green tick on the stock, or a big green tick on the stock early in the morning.
Okay. We must remember this is a market-based buyback.
Exactly.
So we don't really know when the company will buy. So some of these tend to be. There have been times in the past when companies have not even lived up to their word. Of course, thereafter SEBI put in a condition that
25%
they have to go ahead. They have to stick by their word, and therefore this will happen. But the point is, at what point it will come, we don't know. So you shouldn't expect that shares will rise to 1,550. Exactly. But clearly, it is a sentiment.
No, but also, Lata, in this case, I think now the bottom of the stock around the 1,050, 1,100 is made, after the stock has fallen from 1,700. So this gives a very good comfort in terms of the support for the stock. At what price they do, it depends entirely on the market price in the coming, few months or so. So it could be any price between 1,100 or whatever,
Exactly. It's only a maximum of 1,550. Exactly. Fair point. All right. But the more important and fundamentally important news came in on Coal India and on, of course, the unregulated sector. But first, Coal India. Nigel, what have you and the brokerages made after sleeping over everything that Mr. Anil Swarup said yesterday?
Lata, before I slept over it also, I said that it was very positive for Coal India itself.
You were awake when he spoke.
It was a big positive for them. Remember, Coal India, they sell coal via two routes. One is the FSA route, that's a fuel supply agreement route, and they sell it via the auction route. Now, from the FSA route, that's a fuel supply agreement route, they sell close to around 40 to 50 or 60 million tons. That's what the market is working with. We don't really have those numbers. Currently, it is sold at a price of roughly around 1,500 rupees per ton. Now, what the coal secretary said yesterday is that they're going to re-auction all these FSAs in the next 1 year. So that was a positive for them, because this will mean they'll get better realizations. Now, Morgan Stanley, they've upgraded the stock to overweight. They've upgraded the target price as well to around 449 from around 369 earlier. And they've upped the EPS by 7% and 11% for the next couple of years. Now they're projecting a realization CAGR increase of close to around 6.5%. Earlier they were estimating only 5.6%, and they're also estimating a production CAGR of close to around 9%. Earlier they were estimating a CAGR of only around 8%. CLSA as well, they have reiterated their buy. They're saying that the coal FSA auctions, that could lead to better ASPs, that's average selling price for Coal India. And they're saying that if in case these non-power FSAs, in case those realizations jump by nearly around 40%, then the blended FSAs for Coal India on the whole could rise by nearly around 7%. And what's important is that could boost the EPS by nearly around 17%. This will flow through in FY17 itself. But the big risk they see is that any kind of price increases for the FSAs on the whole, that really will not come about. So that's something that they're not very happy about. But they're saying for this particular, for this segment of FSAs, it'll be a positive. So brokerages, they're clearly excited. And if you just look at the stock yesterday, it recovered 1.5% from the day's low.
All right, Nigel, thanks for that. Well, Nestle, that's one stock that has gotten hit very hard this week. A lot of marketing gurus, marketing experts are asking the question whether Nestle could have handled the entire situation better. Now the company has decided to completely take Maggi off the shelves until there is clarity on the situation. Agam joins in now to give us more details on that. Agam.
Well, it's raining in India, but it's a positive, but it's pouring on Nestle, and that's a negative. And, you know, in this case, as you have already suggested, that the company has decided to take Maggi off its shelf, even as the center decides to put a ban on the products. And we have more and more states coming in, putting bans on the Maggi noodles. But, you know, to take you through the numbers, the stock has corrected as much as 15 to 16% since the controversy broke out, and has actually lost as much as nearly 11,000 crores in its market cap. Now, in terms of top line too, given the fact that Maggi will not be sold no more for the period of 1 month for this particular quarter, we could estimate a hit of nearly 500 crores on the top line. Moreover, there are a lot of brokerages which have cut their price targets to around the mark of 5,100 to 5,500. That entails a correction of 7 to 13% further from the current levels. So not the best set of news coming in for Nestle for now.
Yes, but now, thanks a lot for that, Agam. Today, the global CEO, Paul Bulk, was going to be addressing a press conference in Delhi at 12 noon. And perhaps the stock will take some courage from that. There must be something strong that the CEO wants to announce. So those who are trading on Nestle must perhaps wait. This is important when the CEO comes and speaks. And one of the important things about Nestle is they have not come in the public. Exactly. There have been plenty of statements, to be fair, but not enough in terms of presence of...
and I think there have been plenty of defensive statements. You know, in a situation like this, what happens is you have to handle your customers very well. If even one statement had come out, perhaps apologizing for what's happening with respect to the lead content, perhaps even taking customers into your confidence, then that would have that would have helped the brand in a little way.
Well, I don't know what would have been the veracity. You know, they must have their own data about the tests, and probably that is why refusing to accept what are, you know, not exactly uniform statements coming from Indian FDAs as well. Yeah. So one doesn't know what is in the CEO's mind.
Let's see.
But it's just that, you know, when did this news break? I was on vacation, but I think it was May 20th or, you know, it's been at the moment at least about 15 days.
Yes.
So it's a bit late in coming. Yes. That point I take. But how they would handle, we really have to wait to see what is their side of the story. Okay, anyway, the point is Nestle's stock, therefore, might not fall so much today, just to know what is on the company's mind, on the management's mind. This is the first big move that they are making in terms of public relations effort to give their side of the story. The CEO himself